I'd like to call upon Sally's subconscious, please.
We are here.
Thank you so much. We would like you to do a full body scan to her body and let us know what is happening to the body.
She is extremely relaxed right now, which is nice. However, she has been feeling really sick the past couple of days, was having dizzy spells over the weekend and got a cold, and is just now feeling a little bit better. Her body was aching last night. There's much being released from her now. She has lived many, many lives, so many experiences. And releasing it all. And it is having her experience them physically before they're being released with the energies.
Okay, and what is going on for her body with the dizziness? Can you explain to me what that message is?
Grounding more. Also water. She was getting hot and not drinking enough water, and she needed to ground more, not rush too much. The sickness prevented her from running. We want her to rest, just rest and let the process happen, let everything start releasing.
Okay, fantastic. Now that she knows that, are you able to help assist and clear this out so she can feel better and more vital and more fantastic?
Yes, we are working on it now. She may still feel it in the next day or so, but she's getting better more and more as the hours progress.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for that. And when she feels this again in the future, if she does feel this again, she will honor the body and drink more water and rest.
Yes, we'll make sure of that.
Well, good luck. She's an active little busy bee. Okay, well, that's fantastic. Okay, well, subconscious, we do have many questions, and we were hoping that you could assist us today. We were curious about her connection with Artemis, the goddess, which is from the Greek religion. Does she have a connection to Artemis?
Yes, she has had many incarnations as a protector of women, children. She's very inclined towards females and connects with them a lot. And we see her as as Artemis, we see her as very nurturing, very like animals are very attracted to her energy. Not There's no feeling of aggression or anything, just very calm and sweet and protective and hopeful.
Fantastic. It's extraordinary. Thank you for letting us know. And so, in terms of the birth of Artemis, what can you tell us about that? How was she born?
It's interesting. It's like they're showing us a plant, like green, like a green, we don't really know what it is, but it looks like a capsule, like a teardrop almost looking shape. And it looks organic, like a plant, like folded leaves going inward. And it was like she was in that, curled up in a fetal position. And it opened and she came out of it. And we see her as like a fully grown female. And almost like we don't know where she came from, but it's interesting. She came out like just rolled out and knew what she was supposed to do, like her role there. So just came out with a lot of awareness, understanding, protective. It's she looks physical. We see her as physical, yet aware, highly, highly aware.
Was she created on Earth or another planet? What can you tell us for that lifetime as being Artemis?
I feel like it's another planet. There's something very protective and almost like pure within the entire area. We see the animals, we see the trees, we see it's like a forest scene they're showing us, and she has animals surrounding her, and she's standing around them and looking around the forest, but yet it seems like it's very quiet and not here. Definitely a different place, but beautiful, and like everything's loving, and there's nothing to be there's nothing to harm. There's nothing to harm them, the animals or her.
Fantastic. And how is it that she got to came on to Earth and be a Greek goddess?
She has much love for all beings, and it was like she was observing humanity, and it was like she asked if she could help with the women and the children, helping, I guess you could say, like the ones that were a little bit more vulnerable at the time, because it was almost like she felt it was necessary to be there to be protective of them specifically. We see like childbirth, helping the woman with the pain, as well as the baby coming out with less complications for both the mom and the baby. So it's like she was present there, assisting with energy, helping both, and just like loving them. She sees them, they don't see her, but they feel her. They feel her presence, and it gives the woman and the girls, teens, gives them like empowerment, like female empowerment. Like they feel like something's there, just like kind of like they're like a soldier behind them, but it's like they don't know what she looks like, but they feel it. She's behind them all the time, just protecting, watching.
So she was observing these humans on Earth before she decided she needed to embody someone to help assist them. Is that correct?
Yeah, she was watching from afar and then she wanted to come through, but she's still not physical on the earth. She was um more like an energy presence. She feels like an energy presence.
So those that she helped would they see her in their mind's eye or just get a sense of something, or how did they know that she existed?
She would be in their dreams. It's like she would show up in their dreams and she would also it's like she would almost like give them advice in their dreams, like a female, for example, who is about to give birth, and she would show up in their dreams and advise them on what to, how to lay or how to position themselves, um, and almost like, and then like almost like setting them visions when they're in the birthing process. It's so interesting. It's like she's standing, it's weird. She's like energetically standing there holding their shoulders and then giving them like support, like a cheerleader in their ear while they're giving birth. And then when the baby's born, giving them suggestions, ideas of cleaning, health, cleaning, yeah, like cleaning, bathing, and then watching over the baby. And it's like especially the birthing process, because it's so vulnerable and it's so painful and dangerous. So it's like she was like right there helping. And then because she was not in a physical body, she could help many. It feels like it the same, like at multiple times.
Fantastic. Okay. And so, since she wasn't physical as such, um, what happened at the end of her life cycle, or is that still continuing on?
She does love the humans. She loves them a lot. Um, it's like she comes and goes back and forth because we see her go back to where she started and she loves that place and she connects with the animals so much. They're like her friends. And then we see her come back and it's almost like helps her too. So we feel like she travels back and forth.
Could it be said that when she goes backwards and forwards, that is because she's had a physical end of a life cycle here on Earth or other places?
Yeah, we feel like she's a traveler. Other places actually. Other other places, but not. It's like she goes. So she's had other lifetimes far away from here, and then ends up back at her. I guess you could say home station, where she was born from the plant, and then comes back down here, and we're trying to see if she's incarnated physically here, or she was always just that energy. Hmm. They it's interesting. They're not really showing us. It's more like we're seeing more energy, and then she's more physical in other locations, other planets. She's had physical incarnations.
So when Sally listens back to the session, how is she to understand the connection between her and Artemis? Are they the same soul essence or something else?
Yes, same soul essence.
So would that mean that she is the reincarnation of a physical form of Artemis?
I feel like she's not the full reincarnation, like a large piece of her.
So could you say that Artemis has fractured out her soul essences for different experiences, and one of those parts, a big part, as you say, is Sally?
Yes, yes, because there's others doing other roles right now. Yes.
How fantastic. How so intriguing. Thank you. And what else would you like us to know about her lifetime or her role on this planet being Artemis? Was there any struggles?
Mm, yes, it seemed like there was a lot of, we're seeing men. It seems like there was a lot of men fighting for different things. She didn't she didn't like that they were so aggressive and they were always trying to rule over one another and take from one another. And she saw the woman and the children as something so different, like so innocent. And she didn't like that they had to be victims of different struggles. It was unnecessary, she felt like, and she just wanted to protect them from that and shield them. It was uh, like they were so brutal, the men to each other and fighting all the time. She didn't like that part.
I understand. Um, what was her highlights from that lifetime or that life experience, given that it's still ongoing?
She loved when this is funny. So when she would see two people fall in love, she would be like, "Oh my gosh, this is one of the reasons why I'm here. It's just so beautiful." Like she was excited when she'd see that connection of man and a woman, or just anyone, anyone who fell in love, man with a man, woman with a woman, and just that just seeing it, like them swooning at each other, she'd be like, "Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. I love it." Made her happy.
Was she able to fall in love in a similar way while she was being Artemis, given that she was just a guide and a non-physical one?
We don't see her falling in love with a particular person, but she would just fall in love with the idea of being in love. Like it would, it was almost like she was vicariously living through others that way, and it made her really excited and happy. And she was Yeah, she liked it, but she didn't want to be actually physically doing it with the men or anyone there. She was more of like, it's her job. But then there's some real fun entertainment. Like her job was the protection of the woman, the children who she loved. It's just fun entertainment to see other people uh yes, enjoy other, I guess you could say, 3D experiences.
Very cool, thank you. And when we, the small amount of history that we do know, or information that we do know about Artemis, is that she is supposedly the daughter of Zeus and Leto. In terms of Zeus, we are aware that he is, a bigger god. What can we understand about Zeus, and how is it true? Was he part of Artemis's family? What are we allowed to know today?
It's interesting because we feel like she is like, it's like they show us as he's a big energy, like a big being. And then she's like a piece of him, like she's like pulled off of him almost and wanted to experience something different. So it's almost like we see her like being like a piece of him, and then she's like, I want to experience my own, um, my own situations, and then we see it almost like she's just pulling off and wanting to separate from him.
Kind of like how we do with our higher selves and our collectives, is break away even from source when we want to have our own independent experiences.
Yeah, she's just, it was like, it's almost like a raindrop. She's like, I want to just pull away, and then it's like just detached herself, and then like dropped down and went and um did her own thing, wanted to do her own thing, wanted to be individual, wanted to have an individual consciousness. Yes.
That is interesting. Yes, makes sense. And assuming we've all done this, including Sally, has wanted an individual consciousness as she's experiencing this lifetime, now being Sally.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting because it's just like they literally just like are like, nope, I want to cut off, and then they just like drop down and like separate. It's like the only way we could describe it is like a piece of them pulling themselves off.
Fascinating. And I'm assuming that it is part of the agreement that she has with what we could we say that Zeus is a collective of advanced unity or oneness of beings?
A collective of advanced beings? That was a question?
But is that how we could kind of try to understand Zeus, or is he just one big higher self being and he has many fragments?
We actually see it as a huge being. Um, and yeah, many fragments choose to pull away from him.
Could you say that he was part of a collective that we would label and name?
Oh. But is he a part of a collective? Arcturian comes to mind. Arcturian?
Is it an Arcturian that we would know, or is it the collective of Arcturians, or something else?
Hmm. What would it be? You're not, they're just showing us like a huge, energy. It looks like a big energy source, and um, things are well, beings are breaking away off of it, and it's like a big energy source, like a shape, and they're not giving us. It just says Zeus across it in a huge shape, but they're not. Could you ask the question one more time, please?
Yes. Would we know Zeus by another Arcturian name or archangel name?
Michael.
See how fascinating, how extraordinarily delicious. That is so.
Yeah, we weren't sure because we were seeing Michael, and then they were showing us the big energy. We don't want to say like a blob, but it's like a huge shape of energy, and then beings are like pulling themselves off of it. And it's really interesting.
Well, when Sally talks about seeing Archangel Michael, she always says he's handsome, so she would never herself call him a big blob.
Yeah.
So could it be said that all of the Greek and Roman gods are all part of Zeus and all part of the Archangel Michael, or is there other archangels that have got essences of them being gods and goddesses in the Greek and Roman era?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we feel like it's more than one archangel. That has many, yeah, more than one archangel. And it's just funny because with this analogy they're showing me, they're like blobs of energy, and then yeah, they're pulling off of all of them, and they're just kind of like going down, almost like a little drop of water. We've never seen that before. It's interesting.
A little drop of water represents a little soul essence having its own individual experience.
Yes.
Fascinating. Would you be able to give me an understanding of Athena? And is she part of an Arcturian? And if so, what Arcturian archangel name would we know her as being associated with?
Athena, yes. An Arcturian, part of the Arcturian. We are trying to see which one she came from. Archangel Raphael. They're showing us that one.
So intriguing. Thank you. And so, could you say, well, we know that for Sally, for example, her higher self is not Archangel Michael. He is a guide this lifetime. And so, in terms of for Sally to understand a little bit more about herself, when she reflects back on the other experience of being Artemis or being part of Artemis's experience, how would you like her to understand where she fits in with all of these other fragments and other lifetimes she's experienced?
It's like, this is so confusing. It's almost like, let's say they're showing us a mirror, and you break the mirror, and then bunch of different pieces scatter everywhere. They shatter everywhere. So it's like, yeah, she's had so many. So with different fractals, it's like when you reabsorb fully, you're part of the whole. But then when you fractal out, it's like you go in different directions and have different experiences, but yet your information all gets shared all together. And this is always this is it was hard for her to describe. With the higher self, it's like the how do I say this? It's like many different. Okay, so it's almost like there's a big self, higher self that's like right next to source. It's huge. And then it wants to experience things, so then it fractals out and many different lifetimes, and then that those beings that fractal out also fractal out more into I guess you could say smaller versions of their first essence. And so it's almost like it gets more and more fractaled out. And yeah, this is confusing to her. Could you repeat the question again?
When did Sally's essence, her consciousness, fragment out and start having its own independent lives? Is it just this lifetime, or has there been others that she has independently experienced?
So she's confused about the question. Are you saying just Sally right now, personally? Like with her current consciousness only?
I am interested in that, but also there's all these fragments of her, going back to the analogy of the mirror. And so it's all broken, even though she didn't experience one of the other pieces. We all know she is part of the same piece, she is the same whole, but we're trying to sort of figure out, not that it's really important, but do all of the fragments who experience all these independent different lives, do they all merge together and share their experiences, or are they truly independent? And when did Sally become truly independent and that broken shard of glass?
Mm-hmm. Yes, this has been something she's been asking for and has been having such a difficult time trying to understand. We get a sense that all the experiences from the fragments are to be shared, because the whole wants to experience everything, and the only way to do that quickly and have the most experiences is to break away. And so the purpose is to come back and have it all shared amongst all the shards of glass, so everybody can benefit and experience it. It's interesting because it's like because we see though the shards of glass, they don't want to all like, it's like they're independent and they have their own, I guess you could say, like identity in a way after what they've experienced. So in a sense, they want to give their information back to the whole, but they don't want to, what's the word? It's like they don't want to uh, merge back in unless they choose to. Many want to just go out and re-experience more and more and more. We feel like some, though, because they're ready, they will merge back into the mirror analogy. So some of the shards choose to go back into the mirror. For whatever reason they decide, it's up to them. But then others are like, no, we want to still explore, we want to do more. And so like they're still out there and exploring, and it is allowed. Sally had her fragment. See, this is what's so confusing because we don't really quite know what she's okay, so she's like connected to other shards which are connected to other shards. It's like a weird system of, I think you say it the best with the Russian dolls where there's a doll inside another doll inside another doll. And so it's hard to pinpoint when she actually broke away, but she has been experiencing physical lifetimes for a long, long time. We do know that.
I understand that it would be hard to determine whether it was an imprint experience or a physical, real experience that she did have as well, but because they're all valid.
Yeah, and it's almost like, yeah, it's very convoluted, and you don't really quite know which is which, so we can't really pinpoint it.
Yeah, fascinating. And so Sally herself, could you say she's had other lifetimes off planet experiencing that when she broke off?
Yes, she has had lifetimes off planet before she decided to incarnate onto Earth. So she has had it. However, she was not given that information or wasn't able to remember any of it because we know she's had so many lifetimes here that she needed to focus on this Earth.
Given the fact that these sessions are profoundly healing and important to unpack each layer of her lives, I understand that you needed us all to focus as we explored.
Yes, it's interesting information, but there's so much that needs to be done here that we wanted her to focus on this project.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I find all her other lifetimes incredibly fascinating. And I'm curious, is there any other significant lifetimes you would like us to unpack at another time in a future session?
There are many. Yes, we can, there's so many. So we can start giving her some visions on possible ones, which we can discuss in another session. Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you. And I should be really interested in hearing that. But as she is finding when she is releasing trauma from other lifetimes, it does feel like a cold. And so she may not be fully inspired to jump down that rabbit hole quite yet until she is fully recovered from this one she's processing.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well, thank you. And so we would like to learn about the new Earth for Sally, please. she would like to know, after she has explored the new earth and done all that she needed to do, what will be her then project after that?
Hmm. She definitely wants to help assist with we're seeing her planning and discussing with others about co-creating a planet, an, a new planet, and discussing with others, not herself, but like a group, like a team effort. Um, what they would like for it to be like in there, and what lessons to be learned, and just she has a lot of knowledge when it comes to um, different types of like polarities, like uh, aggressive versus nurturing, and she's had many lifetimes as different elements, and physical and non-physical. So she would like it to be. It seems like they're discussing. Hmm. Uh, they're discussing a planet with eventually like really high dimensional, almost like humanoid looking entities on it. We feel this has not been, it's like she's seeing like a future project. It's not even close to being discussed yet, but it's almost like we don't know if it's for a planet that is going to be what's the word, evolving higher, like because it's like humanoid, so they look human, and assisting with the planet for them, like when they increase their vibration. It's like a 5D planet, like a different one.
Okay. And so would that just be a planet that could naturally evolve into a fifth dimension, or would that just be born into a fifth dimension?
That's a good question. Um, we feel like this planet is not inhabited, like it's not. Um, I don't know how they create it, but it's like not created yet.
Fascinating. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted her to know about that?
Um, they're not showing us anything else, just her with like a people talking. And she looks like a cat face, like a feline face.
Fascinating. Okay. Um, Thank you. Thank you so much, subconscious. And out of curiosity, She's wanting to know if we're on the last timeline for Earth yet, and if not, when would we understand that we are?
Are we on the timeline last one? So we see splitting. So we're not on the last one yet. We see different directions, but there is like a main one that is they're splitting from. So we would know when we're on the final timeline when would it be? It's like the very because okay, because the timelines are very close in connection to events. It's like they're just showing us like right before the laser event is when the final timeline is in place, and we don't know if it means like within like the hour when it like right before it happens, but it's like literally like to the end, and then that's when you know that was the final timeline.
The final timeline is the official old Earth experience.
Yeah, once the laser goes off, that's when, because it's almost like things could happen before, like different ways, like and we don't yeah, that's like the final timeline is right before the laser event, and it's because there's always possibilities of someone trying to destroy it. And then if that were to happen, then they would have to step in and make it happen. And it's always a possibility of that. And that's why they don't like to say it's set in stone right like weeks before, because there's always possibilities, because people have free will and time doesn't exist where they're at, and it's more of events, not times, that they look at it.
Thank you, I do understand. In terms of the events that were supposed to be happening last year, which we called the broadcast, it seemed like a pretty extraordinary, epic event, which didn't come to fruition. What can you tell us about that, please?
They saw into the future of the repercussions of what would happen if that event did happen. It was so traumatic that with the disclosures, people couldn't get out of it. It was like a deep density. And it was just they thought it was they thought it'd be too difficult for people to awaken the way they wanted them to. They would have been more want vengeance, violence. um, um, yeah, it's just like more like mob mentality. It would cause more negative emotions like hatred and despair and disgust, and it was just too dense, and wouldn't work. It would be so off path, and even the light workers would have such a difficult time that they decided that wouldn't work. It wouldn't work out. It wasn't possible. It just wouldn't. We weren't there. We weren't there mentally. We weren't there spiritually. And so the next possibility was the laser event, where it would actually bring people together. And it was not the same results. People actually would like, there was less, I guess you could say, there's less, of course, there's less violence, there's less blame. There's more like, how could we together as humanity have let this happen? And with technology, and we weren't looking at each other, we were facing away from each other all the time. And it brings more of a togetherness, everyone experiencing that. And it just had a better outcome, and less density. It was still going to be dense, but less of it, and more unity.
Understand. I'm also starting to notice that many influencers are starting to say that this December there's going to be a big shift, and they're using the same date that we got last year, even though I'm hearing different information from our sessions. What can you help us understand what's going on there?
Mm-hmm. They're experiencing their changes in their body. So with the raising of the vibration of the earth right now, as we are raising up and releasing more and more density, it feels like something is stirring, something's changing, and they're feeling it so strongly that they're telling themselves it's because something's going to happen, and it's going to happen soon, and we're preparing for this. And they're experiencing inward changes. And it is like, okay, so with this example, because we're seeing the face of a lady, her major, I guess you could say, ways of keeping people hopeful is by setting dates for them. And she feels change, but she wants to solidify it in a way that the people who support her will feel like there's a reason why they're hanging on to every word she says. She wants to feel like she's she wants to feel like she's impacting them in a very strong way, and she wants to do it positively. Her thought process is, I'm giving them hope, and it's so hard right now, and things are so confusing that I feel a sense that something's happening, and I want to find out when things are changing. And so she talks to her ego, and it's like she's getting a date from her ego, but getting many dates, and kind of we don't want to say the word stringing along, but it does feel like the supporters feel that way, strung along a little bit. She's doing it because she wants to give them hope, and she's saying, yes, yes, we're almost there, we're almost there. It's coming, it's coming. And but with the dates, they come and they go. Nothing changes. But it's all inward. It's all physical changes that they're experiencing and she's experiencing right now.
Thank you, I understand. And in terms of Sally had an experience where she saw a portal. Was it in a dream or a lucid dream? What can you tell us about that, please?
Mm-hmm. Yes, in the dream, she was in a crowd and she was talking to people, and the wind picked up, and it was really, really windy, and the sky changed. The sky changed, and it was swirling, and a small hole emerged, and then it became bigger and bigger. It was a portal. She's never actually seen one before, as Sally. And when she looked up at it, it was it looked like it was water over it, like almost like a barrier. And ships became bigger and bigger, and ships were coming down from the tunnel and emerging from, I guess you could say, it's like a plasma, and they're coming down and going through the plasma like they're entering the Earth's atmosphere. Many ships, big ones, and they're aware, they're obviously aware that the timeline is coming. The timelines are going to be merging soon. And it's like they're on standby. We're getting like standby. And we don't know exactly where they are around the Earth, but it's like they're here within the area. So it's like they went through a portal and now they're around the area, so that if something were to happen, they can quickly come in.
Foreseen in our future that we would see these ships at all?
I'm sorry, you broke up with the beginning.
Okay, sorry. Could it be said that we would be seeing some of these ships? Would Sally be physically seeing these ships with her 3D eyes?
We get a sense that she does it right away. However, she will see them at the very end, on old Earth.
Tell me more about that. What's happening? What does she notice?
As things are getting more and more intense so it's like the weather's intense, like more intense. And we feel like there's like the earthquakes, the land, the plates, they're so violent, and the volcanoes, and it's like they're coming, the last ones are coming to pick up the remaining ones that need to get picked up. She feels like her dad is going to get picked up. He's going to be on a ship, She's not. She's not going to be on the ship though. Her dad will be picked up. They're going to be together. So, okay, they're going to be together at the very end. And it's like she sees, so the way she sees it is they're sitting cross-legged next to each other, holding each other's hands in front of each other, kind of like meditating on the ground, because we feel like there's something big, like a wave, something big. We don't know if it's a wave or something really like they know it's gonna be over soon. And it's like these ships just like are there. They just show up. They're just there. And it's like almost like an exact time when she sees it, looks up, sees it, and boom, he's gone. Boom, she's gone. Different directions. But she does see it. Looks like a dark, it's like a, the sky is kind of dark. So it's like a dark shadow. Looks like a big shadow. But it's a ship.
So we know that she has her own ship that she travels in, if that's what you want to call it. What would you call it? Subconscious?
A Merkaba.
And what about her father?
He goes on, he's teleported to the big ship.
Thank you. I've heard people thinking that they would be given an opportunity or an offer to go on board or not, but that sounds like the ego. Is it correct that it just happens spontaneously and they actually have no free will as they've been evacuated from the planet?
Yes. She sees them as shooting off in two different directions completely.
Do you see, would you see people, other people seeing the ships as well and panicking and trying to avoid them?
We don't feel that way, no. We feel like almost okay, we're trying to understand. It's like we don't know if they can do mind control from the ship, but it's almost like these people feel there's no fear. It's almost like they're looking up like, oh, what's that? And it's like, it's strange, but it's almost like a ship comes into their mind. It's a ship. And it's almost like a relief or like a calmness. There's like something very nice. It's like, thank God. It's like comforting.
That's positive. Okay, fantastic. And so we've heard before how long she spends on the old Earth subconscious. Is that time frame still around the same, or has something changed again?
Hmm. We feel like currently the time frame is the same. We feel it's she's felt 3 months there, and it feels 3 months there still. Maybe 3.5. We don't feel any shortening of it yet. Within 3 months, 3.5 months.
Thank you. And are we to understand that there's still much more many months of the old Earth after she shifts, or is that something else now too?
We feel like things are going to actually rapidly deteriorate after the last. So she is one of the last ones, one of the last groups to stay. And when they get shifted off, it's almost like it was the best time because things are going to get rapidly worse and worse. And we feel like the Earth doesn't last much longer than no longer than 2023 for sure. Like within less than a year for sure. Yeah, we don't see 2024. We do see 2023, but we don't know if that's, we don't know why we're seeing it, but there is no 2024.
Thank you. And then in terms of the refurbishment of the planet after everyone's evacuated, are we to assume that's still going to take place?
We see it as a really dense, dead rock for uninhabitable for a while. It's silent and cold. We don't know. We feel like it's going to be a while, a long time till it gets re-inhabited because it has to start all over again, which is what they want. They want it to be like a clean slate, you could say.
Thank you. I understand. In terms of Australia, had in a location, Frankie messaged me from Australia, and she was saying that she heard a very loud boom, like an explosion. We were just wondering what was going on there for that location.
We see, okay, so they're showing us the sky. Showing us the sky. We see two large lights. We were trying to understand what it is and where it's coming from.
Would you know the purpose of it?
It's like they don't want us to know. Trying to understand what is the purpose. They're silent.
Fascinating. Okay. And so whatever happened, is there any impact or anything that we want to be able to tell Frankie what on earth was happening in her community?
We get a sense it's ongoing activity.
Okay. Will she have to experience it again?
They're giving us the word government. Government.
What way is it the government?
Firing. 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 It's like you're fired too light. It's like you see two light. I don't know what they are. It's like lights, missiles, or two. We see two things firing off and going straight up. They were trying to hit something. They were trying to, like, there's something in the sky. We're trying to hit it. Hit it. Government.
They managed to hit it.
Mm, we it's like they're showing us it, whatever it was did get hit and exploded, but we don't know what it was.
And how did the government know it was there?
Um, how did they know it was there? It was like a tip off of some tip off, tip off, tip, a tip. Someone told someone else that okay. You don't know, it's like someone was remote view. Like a seer, someone could see this is weird. Someone could see beyond the 3D. Somebody told someone, shoot it down. We don't understand this.
So when it was shot down, what happened to it after that?
We see exploded and like a blue light went, like a dome went expanded. Blue light dome. After it exploded, like a, oh, what is that? Like a I don't understand. We don't understand this. It's confusing her. We don't. We don't know what the blue dome light. It's like a blue dome.
See. And so, are you giving her visuals with this or not this time?
We are, and we're also withholding a lot too. We're giving her some. We're giving her some.
So we can guess without naming names who told what to blow down, to blow up. And so now that the impact has happened, what are the ramifications of this? Was there anyone on board when it was exploded, or is this something that doesn't have people on board or beings on board?
Mm-hmm. Let's look into it. No beings on board. No beings. It's like one is. It's high. It's high. It was so it was it's high. It was higher. It was satellite, like it's like they're not wanting us to see it. They don't want her to see. We don't know why. They don't want her to see specifics on it. They're trying to keep it contained. The one though is still left.
I do understand. And so we're assuming that this will be an ongoing project for them as they're trying to eradicate these.
Mm-hmm. That is correct. And they don't want, because they know of the remote viewing, they know of the ability to see it. They want to make sure that it's not going to be foiled. They can step in. They do not want to. They do not want to step in and do it themselves. They would rather it be done how it would have.
I understand, because the ramifications of a collective doing this to the planet versus a man-made object doing this to the planet has different impact and history.
Yes, and it would be more unifying if it was done the way that it's supposed to be done for the people. And so they're trying to prevent Sally from seeing much because they want it to not be interfered with as it has been ongoing. And there's much going on behind the scenes. Yes.
Thank you. And we understand that they've already been told that they would not be successful with this mission in their projects. And we trust that everything has been managed behind the scenes and that our focus is our 3D lives versus high dimensional concerns of protecting what needs to be protected for the history of this planet.
Correct. And they want they just want us to focus on ourselves and each other right now and appreciate what we have now, and not try and go too deeply into other kinds of information that uh, that may happen exactly or not in the future.
I understand. Thank you. And we will definitely keep our minds open as we understand things have to unfold, and we will respect all information given to us. And we always know to go within to get our own clarification rather than waiting for others to share the information or not share the information.
Correct. And there are many who want the information to foil it. So, yeah, there's much going on and much protection. And yeah, this is important. They don't want to drag this out anymore.
Those humans that are trying to stop the laser event, is it because they are confused with the significance and the purpose and the reasons for it? And so therefore they are distracting themselves, thinking that they're trying to save humanity, when in fact they're trying to save humanity from a teachable moment.
Yes, it's a fear. They're afraid, and they don't understand anything further beyond that. They only look at it as that, and they don't. It's like they can't understand the higher purpose because they're not frequency wise able to handle that kind of information. It's they haven't delved into their own spirituality as such, focused on the material, the here, the now. So logically, they would assume that this is going to destroy their life and the planet, and they don't look at it in any other perspective. So they see it as something that needs to get taken out before it goes off.
Could it also be said that they think that they can use their free will to get what they want, given the fact that they don't want anything to change, they want to protect humanity, and they think that they should be entitled to have their free will honored because they cannot see the bigger perspective?
Yes. They because they are so used to getting things that they want through their intelligence, their money, their connections. They look at it the same way. Using their free will, they'll get what they want.
Big learning growth for all at this time, then obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Fantastic. Is there any final messages that you have for humanity?
We're actually just showing. We're showing. We're showing Sally, but we want this to be a message for everybody. Take time out and just go walk around. Look at the planet, like Earth, where you are. If there's like a green park, like a park, a forest, a trail, anything out in nature, we want you all to go and spend time there and just sit or walk or stand and fully take in Earth, because you are going to miss Earth when you leave. We know life is, hard and busy, but we feel like this is going to be something that you're going to look back on and be thankful that you did this, because we feel like those who didn't take the time will oh, it's more than regret, it's remorse, where they were, why didn't I just stop and take in the beauty? Why didn't I just stop for a moment, for 30 minutes, an hour, and just sit on the grass and just send love to the grass and to the trees, and looking at the birds and seeing how much beauty there is here. Um, we would like for all to do that, and just to spend time outdoors, even by yourself, just to have time alone, almost like a sacred moment spent with nature. You can communicate with nature and not be distracted.
Sounds like a beautiful suggestion, and one would experience profound gratitude and balance and harmony if they did so.
Yes, you'll feel more, yes, grounded, at peace, and higher. You just feel better. You'll feel better, and it's nice to, when you know something's going to be ending, it's nice to put in that quality time.
Beautiful. Yes, indeed, it is a gift to be able to know this information prior so you can prepare and set your intentions to have gratitude and love and appreciation and absorb all the moments of joy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Great suggestion. I love that. Thank you so much.